of 2023 and its approval thereof with amendments.
Mover.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. I request Senator Eddie Okech to second.
Senator Okech.
Chair, I second.
Honourable Senators, I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I put the question that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. As many as of the similar opinion say aye. As those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Therefore, Honourable Senators, we have now concluded the consideration of the National Assembly amendments to the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023, and approved the amendments to clauses 1, 7, 12, 19, 38, 53, and the introduction of a new clause 43A. There will be no third reading. Consequently, the bill will be referred to His Excellency the President for assent. Thank you. Next is, we are reporting now on the bill by the Committee of the Whole, the Election Offences Amendment number 2 bill, Senate Bills number 28 of 2024.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered and rejected the National Assembly amendments to the Election Offences Amendment number 2 bill, Senate Bills number 28 of 2024.
Mover. Okay.
I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I request Senator Eddie Okech to second.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Chair, I second.
I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the same report. I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the same report. As many as of the similar opinion say aye. As those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Honourable Senators, we have now concluded the consideration of the National Assembly amendments to the Election Offences Amendment number 2 bill, Senate Bills number 28 of 2024, and rejecting the National Assembly amendments. The bill will be referred to Amendation Committee. We are now reporting, this is the reporting of the bill by the Committee of the Whole, the Public Finance Management Amendment number 4 bill, National Assembly Bills number 45 of 2024. Chairperson.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the Public Finance Management Amendment number 4 bill, National Assembly Bills number 45 of 2024, and its approval thereof with amendments.
The mover.
Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. I request the Senator for Kisumu, Professor Tom Ojienda, to second.
Senator Professor Tom Ojienda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second.
So, Honourable Senators, I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the same report. I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the same report. As many as of the similar opinion say aye. As many as of those of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Move that the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 45 of 2024 be now read a third time. I request Senator Professor Ojienda to second.
Professor Ojienda.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
I propose the question that the Public Finance Management Amendment number 4 bill, National Assembly Bills number 45 of 2024 be now read at that time. I put the question that the Public Finance Management Amendment number 4 Bill, National Assembly Bills number 45 of 2024 be now read at that time. We are going to the division. Okay. Very well, let us finish on the reporting and then we'll vote thereafter together. Okay, since we are reporting, we don't need actually the quorum to be present, but therefore now you can open the door and withdraw the bus. But please don't move out. There is a reason why I've done that. I wanted to accommodate more senators who are out there to come in.
Please don't go. Ngoja tumalize. Abdul, please.
Who are the senators who are at the door? Senator Abdul and Senator Dulo, kindly just give us 5 minutes. Yeah, let's report on the labor migration and management number 2, Senate Bills number 42 of 2024. Chairperson.
What's happening?
Labor migration.
You haven't given me the labor migration one. Sawa. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the Labor Migration and Management Bill number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2024, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Over.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the labor migration and apologies. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. I request Senator Ediokech to second.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
I propose a question that the House do agree with the committee in the Senate report. I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the Senate report. As many as of the similar opinion say aye. As those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Labor Migration and Management Bill, National Senate Bill number 42 of 2024, be now read at that time. Senator Ediokech to second.
Chair, Honorable Speaker, I second.
I propose a question that the Labor Migration and Management number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2024, now will be laid at that time. I put the question that the Labor Migration and Management number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2024, be now laid at that time. Division at the end. Next, let's report on the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2024. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2024, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Senate do agree with the committee in the said report. I request Senator Professor Ojenda to second.
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
I second.
Therefore, I propose a question that the Senate do agree with the committee in the same report. I put the question that the Senate do agree with the committee in the same report. As many as of the similar opinion say aye. As those of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 35 of 2024, be now read a third time. I request Senator Professor Ojenda to second.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Senator Professor, you wait to be given the mic by the Speaker. Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I second.
I propose the question that the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2024, be now read at that time. I put the question that the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2024, be now read at that time. Division at the end. This is the last reporting on the County Government's Election Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2024. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the County Government's Election Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2024, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Very well, Mover.
Thank you, Speaker. I beg to move that the Senate do agree with the committee on the said report.
Can you propose a seconder?
And I request Senator Beatrice Ogola to second.
Senator Beatrice Ogola.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the same report. I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the same report. As many as of similar opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the County Government's Election Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 2 of 2024, be now read a third time.
Still, Senator Beatrice Ogola seconding?
Yes.
You have changed your mind?
No,
Senator Kajwang?
No. I would like the honor to go to my colleague, Beatrice Ogola. Thank you.
Again, Senator Beatrice.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the County Government's Election Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2024, be now read at that time. I put the question that the County Government's Election Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2024, be now read at that time. So now, Honorable Senators, we are going to the 4 divisions. So, you calling the quorum bill for 1 minute. Now, 1 minute is over. You close the doors and withdraw the bus. Close the doors and no senator should leave the chamber. Can I confirm whether you have numbers for the division? Okay. Let us try to get the quorum. So open the doors and withdraw the bus. Open the doors and withdraw the bus and ring the quorum bell for 3 minutes. I request honorable senators, let us just finish up this small business before us. Okay, Sergeant at arms, now close the doors and draw the bars. Honorable Senators, you know I can see the mood of the House is that the Senators want to go for prayers and others to do other important businesses. So therefore, I request you to be very observant because we want to vote in less than 5 minutes. One bill after the other because I already put the questions. So just be very attentive, very keen on the dashboards. Let's proceed. We start with the Public Finance Management Amendment number 4 bill, National Assembly Bills number 45 of 2024. Proceed and vote. Senator Andy. Matinga. Sergeant at arms, there is a bit of confusion, so kindly withdraw all the unattended cards. Okay, Honorable Senators, now we're going to the division on the labor, migration, and management number 2, Senate Bills number 42 of 2024. Vote, Senators, be very attentive and vote. Four senators have not voted so far. we go to the next division? We are now on the division on the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, Senate Abuse number 35 of 2024. Senators vote, close in and vote. Senators who have not voted. And check, confirm. Senator Omtata Okoiti, Senator Ndiokechi. Approach the table and vote manually. This is now the last division on the County Government's Election Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Abuse number 2 of 2024. Honorable Senators, proceed and vote. Honorable Senators, these are the results of the division at the third reading. The results of the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 4 Bill, ayes 25, nays 0, abstention 0, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Public Finance Management Act and for connected purposes.
Results for the river migration and management number 2 bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2024. Ayes 25, nays 0, abstention 0, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the regulation of private employment agencies and the recruitment of workers within and outside Kenya, safeguard the rights of welfare of job seekers and migrant workers and for connected purposes.
Next is the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2024. Ayes 25, nays 0, abstention 0, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Tobacco Control Act to regulate electronic nicotine delivery systems, including electronic cigarettes and related products and for connected purposes.
The last but not the least, the County Government Election Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2024. Ayes 25, nays 0. All the senators, are you reasoning at the results? Nays, abstention 0, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Elections Act and the County Governments Act to provide for nomination of members of County Assembly to represent marginalized groups and for connected purposes.
Now, Sergeant Antabs, you can withdraw, open the doors and withdraw the bars. And thank you, Senators, for your patience this afternoon. We have really done quite some considerable job this afternoon. Thank you very much indeed. Honorable Senators, at this juncture, you know, we earned some minutes to eulogize our departed brother. Therefore, if you can refresh your request, then I can be able to know who is interested to pass the condolences. Senator Ruto John Kinyua.
Asanti sana Bwana Spika kunipa fursa hii ya kupeana risala za rambirambi kwa niaba ya watu wa Laikipia na niaba yangu mwenyewe na kusema pole sana kwa kumpoteza kiongozi ambaye ni shujaa, mbunge wa Emuru Wadikil, Johana Ngeno. Na ikumbukwe kwamba Johana Ngeno ni kiongozi ambaye aliongea fikra zake bila ya kuogopa na kusema ya kwamba yeye kile ambacho aliamini alikisema. Bwana Spika, vile vile alikuwa ni mtu ambaye aliamini utamaduni. Vile vile aliamini kuwainua wale ambao ni wanyonge waliokuwa chini. Ndiposa Bwana Spika, kila wakati nilimuona katika kusema ya kwamba wale ambao ni waimbaji alihudhuria hafla zao, Bwana Spika, na kuwachangia. Kwa hivyo tunamwomboleza kiongozi ambaye alikuwa na msimamo dhabiti, kiongozi ambaye alijitolea kuwainua wale walio chini. Bwana Spika, mimi namkumbuka, alikuwa ni mtu ambaye ni mcheshi, mtu mwenye furaha. Kwa hivyo kwa niaba ya watu wa Laikipia, sisi tunaambia familia yake mjane pamoja na vile vile familia ya wale ambao waliokuwa nao, tunataka kusema pole sana, na tuambie ya kwamba tuna imani na tunatumaini, kwa sababu yeye alituacha akiwa bado katika ile hali ya kutumikia wananchi. Kwa hivyo kwa niaba ya watu wa Laikipia tunasema pole na tunamtakia apate awekwe ambapo kuna kolazwa watu wale wema na vile vile wale waliokuwa naye. Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Next is Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I rise with immense grief and sorrow to eulogize and to convey my condolences to the family of our departed colleague, the Honorable Johana Ngeno, and the 5 others who also perished with him in that drastic helicopter crash. Mr. Speaker, it's easy to talk about Honorable Johana Ngeno and forget about the 5 others. And I'd like to convey my condolences to them, their families, and their loved ones, and pray that God will comfort them during this moment. What happened to Honorable Ngeno and his entourage could happen to any of us, Mr. Speaker. The captain or the pilot of that helicopter, Captain George Were, is a man that is known to many of us. He has flown some of us. The vessel that went down, Mr. Speaker, because in this country, you don't have too many helicopters. In fact, in that space, the helicopters are almost like matatus, because if you are not endowed to own one, then you have to rent one. So the helicopters are just like Ubers, and you don't choose who's going to drive you. And so pilot George Were has piloted some of us, that particular vessel. We have used it previously, and it could happen to anybody. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Johana Ngeno was my personal friend. When I came to Senate in 2015, it was the 11th Parliament. You do recall, Mr. Speaker, I believe you are sitting in the other house, the Honorable Johana Ngeno at that time was still a bachelor. And when I came, he offered to show me around Parliament. He went beyond showing me the corridors of Parliament. He took me to Kilimani and several other places and tried to give me an orientation in the city. Mr. Speaker, I was very happy when he got married in 2018 because it slowed him down. He went under the radar a little bit. He went back to school. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to pray that the young family left behind, the children, that God will hold their hands. At the end of the day, all that we do is vanity. At the end of the day, we must ask ourselves, what will our children say on that fateful day if we were to expire suddenly like the Honorable Johana Ngeno? He definitely did his stuff in the right manner because the whole nation is in consensus that he was a good leader, he was a good man, he was a good husband and a good father. May the Lord comfort the family and the rest of the victims of that crash. And may we reflect on that so that when we pass laws, let it not be for our personal good. Let it be for the good of our children, for the children of our children. Let it be a fit inheritance for the next generation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Next is Senator Kenyuri Hesse, Anyeni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to convey my condolences to the people of Narok County, Emuru Adikri, and the family of the late Johana Ngeno. In Johana, they lost a compassionate and straightforward speaking leader. And Mr. Speaker, I had a short interaction for the time I have been in Parliament. And he was a kind of a legislator whom you really would want to emulate. He would defend the interests of his people without looking at which side of the political divide he stood. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to send my condolences to the family of Nixon Kosgei. Nixon was a personal friend. If I recount the moments he captured during my mom's retirement ceremony, I just feel so sorry that we had to lose him at such a time. The same to Carlos, he's a colleague previously in my workstation. So these were people who are well known to me, and I really feel sorry that we lost them in this manner. May their souls rest in eternal peace. But one thing to note, the late Ngeno surrounded himself with young people to an extent that he trusted them with his photography, movements, and very many other aspects around his leadership. That's one thing we need to emulate, because when young people are given a platform, they surely can show what they are able to offer. And you see, they died in the line of duty. So, Mr. Speaker, let their soul rest in peace. And during this time of heavy rainfall, let our aviation industry really give proper advice so that we don't suffer whatever loss we have suffered anytime soon, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Montent Mbete.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also join you and my colleagues in eulogizing our colleague, the late Honorable Ngong. Mr. Speaker, the late Honorable Ngong was a great man. He's died a warrior in this country, a person who was always fighting for his people, and for sure, for even all the Kenyans who came to know about him, they came to know about him because of the way he was fighting for his people. So we've lost a warrior, we've lost a great leader, and to his young family, I want to send my sincere condolences. Mr. Speaker, death is very painful. Having lost my husband 1 year ago tomorrow, I can only imagine what that family is going through. And what we can do for now is just pray for them to be comforted, and also pray for the other souls which also perished in that crash. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to send my condolences to the pilot of that flight, the late Colonel retired Captain Were. Captain Were was well known to me. He's a person I've flown with many times on the same chopper which crashed. And I can only say that Captain Were was a very, very experienced pilot. Really, death, when it comes calling, no one and nothing can stop it. To the family of Captain Were, may God comfort you. May God be with you during these hard times. And all what we can say, we are going to pray for them, and we are going to be with them at this very difficult time. Thank you.
Senator Mudigi Alexander.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia mjadala inaendelea kwa wale walipata ajali ya ndege. Mmoja ni Mheshimiwa Ngeno. Tulikuwa fanya kazi na yeye, na pia na wale wengine watano yangu nikiwa Senator wa Embu County na familia yangu na watu wa Embu County. Wote tunasema ni pole kwa Mheshimiwa na wale wengine. Kifo, hakuna mtu anaweza simamisha kifo kwa sababu Mungu mwenyewe ndiye alitulete. Kwa hivyo wale wameondoka, tuwe na roho safi, waweze kwenda salama, kwa sababu tunajua katika Biblia ni sisi tutawakuta. Lakini ningesema saa nyingine mambo ya ajali hatuwezi uliza swali, lakini ningeomba waendeshaji wa pikipiki ama wa gari ama wa ndege, wakati kunafaa kuwe saa nyingine mtu hawa akiangalia hewa iko namna gani, ndio hawa waendeshaji wa ndege ndio tusiwe napata mambo kama hiyo imetokea. Ama kama wale wanaangalia mambo ya hitilafu ya ndege wao wakiangalia, na pia ndio tusiweze kupata mambo kama hii tena. Kwa hiyo mimi ikiwa Senator wa Embu County nasema ni pole, na nyinyi familia muweze kukaa vizuri, na pia mnajua vile baba yenu na ule mwingine walikuwa wanataka kukaa, mkae na amani, na tunajua siku moja tutakuta wale. Kwa hiyo nikiwa Senator wa Embu County Alexander Munyi Mondigi, nalete rambirambi zangu pamoja na watu wa Embu County. Pole sana Madam Speaker.
Senator Metu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to pass my condolences to the family of the Honorable Johana Ngeno and the 5 other passengers that unfortunately perished in that plane crash. It has always been said that you live only once, but if you do it right, one is enough. And I think Honorable Ngeno fits that particular bill. He's a man who has lived once and lived it right. Speaker, hearing the tributes that have come from his constituents, from his community, from his family, and the people around him, and those of us who are his colleagues, Madam Speaker, it tells you that Honorable Ngeno was a great man. Madam Speaker, without belaboring what has been said by most of our colleagues about Honorable Ngeno, the one thing that I would want to point out about him is that he wore the crown of where he comes from with a lot of pride, Madam Speaker. We have been made to always believe and think that once we embrace our culture, once we embrace our traditions, we are tribal and we are fanning ethnicity, Madam Speaker. But Honorable Ngeno was one such a leader who was always very proud to be associated with the Kipsigis culture, the Kipsigis people. You saw that there was one cultural event that he used to sponsor, I think, annually, using his own money, Madam Speaker, so that he can keep growing their culture, so that he can keep growing the things that they believe in as a community, Madam Speaker. I also send my condolences to the families, the 5 families of the people who perished in that particular plane crash, Madam Speaker. I would also want to commit his very young family, Madam Speaker, to God, because it is such a difficult time, Madam Speaker. Even as the constituents have lost their leader, we have 2 young people who have lost their father. We have a young lady who has lost her husband, Madam Speaker. And I think the only person who can comfort them enough is God. So we offer our prayers, we offer our condolences, and we ask that the soul of our colleague rest in eternal peace.
Senator Professor Margaret Kamara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to join my colleagues in eulogizing a very brave leader in Honorable Ngeno. Madam Speaker, I would like to pass my deepest condolences to the family of Honorable Ngeno and to the families of all those who perished with him, the pilot and the team that was Ngeno's team. It's a very sad time for us as Parliament because we lost a very dynamic young man at a time when he was growing politically. We have lost as a country, but we know the pain of the family is more than that. I want to pray, to pass my prayers to the families that God may comfort all of them. I got to know Ngeno just a little bit, Madam Speaker, when he surprised me one day and said, I am at the gate of your farm. And I said, Ngeno, I am not even in the farm. What are you up to? Come visiting me without telling me. Then he says, Madam, I'm not visiting you. I'm visiting your cows. So I said, visiting my cows? He said, yes, just tell somebody to open the gate so that I go and visit your cows, because that's what I want. So I called and I said, can you allow the Honorable Ngeno to go and visit the cows he wants to visit? So he went to my dairy farm. Half an hour later, he calls me and he said, there is a cow I will not leave. I said, which one? He said, I have found one cow here, which I really like, and you can give me the price, but I'm going with it. And that was the story between me and Ngeno. He got a cow. He said, you know, I'm starting my family, and I want a cow that gives milk, because the herd that I have is large, but we don't have animals. That's the man I know, and a very kind-hearted person, very warm person, very welcoming person, full of humor, but he was a rising star. May the Lord rest him in eternal peace, and we pray that the family is comforted, the young family is comforted, and they grow with the cover of God. Thank you.
Senator Murgor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to add my voice to those of my colleagues, expressing that Honorable Ngeno is a person that has touched many lives, especially the young ones. And his influence has gone across regions, across cultures, across ages and set groups, such that he was a very fitting person with the young people. He has gone cross-cultural and especially fitting into many cultures. He has come to Pokot many times and danced Pokot style, and has even brought young people from his constituency to dance with Pokot young people. And they fitted in very well. And he was such a charm to them all. And then he has uplifted artists, young people in music and culture, such that some of them have actually been economically empowered by Ngeno himself and his friends that he took to places to uplift young people economically, those artists and cultural practitioners. And then he has also helped those that needed school fees and so on, so that they can remain in schools and in colleges. And so I say, send my condolences from myself and my family and West Pokot to Ngeno and those 5 others that perished with him. May the good Lord rest their souls in eternal peace. Thank you.
Senator Beatrice Ogola. Madam Speaker, I thank you for giving me this chance to add my voice to the cries of all the Kenyans, to the cries of the constituents of our brother, our fallen colleague, Honorable Ngeno, and to all the other 5 members that lost their lives in the tragic accident that befell this country just few days ago. Madam Speaker, Mheshimiwa Ngeno was somebody who fought for social justice. You could see that he stood with his constituents in all the challenges that befell them. And Madam Speaker, that is the requirement that all Kenyans look forward to get from all their representatives. Madam Speaker, this is a man that had no boundaries in the service that he gave to Kenyans. You can see that he flew all the way to support the artist. And Madam Speaker, while coming back, Madam Speaker, we looked at a man that was enthusiastic, and you could see that he was probably looking forward to getting to another event to serve other Kenyans. As we condole with his family, which we see as a very young family, we saw a young lady with young children, Madam Speaker. We know that the Lord gives and the Lord takes away, and the Lord will protect and look after them. But along with Mheshimiwa, Madam Speaker, we also condole with the families who lost their loved ones. Madam Speaker, the life of this young teacher touched my heart. He was called Carlos. That was a young man, and we all saw the mother being interviewed. And we saw a mother who was looking forward to security from their son. And this is a man that had gotten recently unemployment and was looking forward to improving not only his life, but the life of his family. Along with the cameraman, along with the pilot, Madam Speaker, I'm reminded of what befell my constituency, in their constituency in 2020. 1 minute, in 2012, Madam Speaker, when we lost the late Joshua Roa Jode with the Saitoti, Madam Speaker. It's some.
Give her 1 minute to finish. Please wind in 1 minute.
I thank you. I thank you, Madam Speaker. As we condole with this family, we encourage all Kenyans to feel as one, especially at this time as we bid farewell to the fallen heroes. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Wakwabubi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Allow me to join the rest of the senators in mourning the fallen heroes. That is Honorable Ngeno and the 5 staffs who are on board with him in the plane crash. I used to admire this name, Emurua Dikir, just because it was making headlines sometimes back. And I got interested to know who was this man pushing this constituency to the limelight. And I came to discover a gentleman called Honorable Ngeno, alias Ngong. I want to join the rest in embracing the attributes that were exhibited by Honorable Ngeno in his line of duty. One, we realized that he was a great lands rights advocate, a champion of development, a unifier, a cultural champion, just following the task that he had come from in bridging communities in Entebbe. So to me, he was such an epitome of servant leadership, and these are the attributes that we as leaders need to emulate. That he was a people-centered kind of leader, and he had grassroots focus for his people all the time. He was also a principled and resilient leader, and I also want to echo his support for the young generation. Madam Speaker, I beg for your protection from Senator Mofaya.
Senator
a minute,
Mofaya,
please.
Don't interfere with the...
Thank you for that protection. So I want us to embrace his support and also emulate the idea of embracing the young generation. Let us learn to support their innovations and even support their industry, following what has been talked about, Mheshimiwa Ngeno. To the young widow, I want to assure her that let her lift her eyes upon the Lord. A minute, I finish? Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. That let her lift her eyes upon the Lord, for he cares. Our Lord is omnipresent to the widows and to the orphans. I know widowhood is not a bed of roses, but she will manage. So I join the rest, and I pray that may perpetual light shine upon Honorable Ngeno's soul and the rest of the 5 members who perished in the crash. May God grant us solace and fortitude. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity.
Senator Wakoli.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii tuweze kupeana pole na rambirambi kwa familia ya mbunge Johana na rubani wa ndege hiyo na wenzio waliokuwa katika ndege hiyo. Ni jambo la kusikitisha kupoteza mbunge ambaye alikuwa amejitolea muhanga kutetea watu wa jamii yake, wapiga kura wa eneo bunge lake, na kutetea hadhi ya binadamu katika nchi ya Kenya. Yeye vile vile ameweza kutupa moyo na ari ya kutetea haki zetu kama Wakenya, na ndivyo kama jumba la Senate lazima vile vile tujiunge na mbinu na tabia na hulka za mheshimiwa marehemu kutetea hadhi ya Wakenya katika gatuzi letu. Mheshimiwa Spika, namhurumia mkewe na watoto, nahurumia jamii hiyo, kwa sababu tuliona jinsi alivyokuwa nakabiliana na nyenzo za kisalama za nchi hii kutetea wasiokuwa na silaha. Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba tu Mungu awape nguvu na uwezo wapiga kura eneo hilo, kwamba watapata kiongozi ambaye ataweza kuvaa viatu hivyo na kuendelea kupigania mashamba yao, misitu yao, heshima yao, kazi zao katika nchi ya Kenya. Kwa sababu pasipo kiongozi mwenye msimamo kama Johana, bila shaka nchi huyumba na jamii usambaratika. Nawatakia kila laheri familia, Mungu awape nguvu. Nawatakia wapiga kura eneo hilo, Mungu awape ukakamavu wa kukubali kwamba yeye ndiye utoa na yeye ndiye upeana, na vile vile mrengo wa Kenya Kwanza kwa kumpoteza kijana shupavu ambaye alikuwa anaongoza na nyota yake ilikuwa imeng'aa, na Mungu apokee nafsi zao katika makao yake kule mbinguni. Asante sana Johana, tutakutana baadaye. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Thangwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for also this opportunity so that I can also give my condolences to the family of the late Johana Ngeno. Madam Speaker, the death of Johana Ngeno is a tragic loss to the nation, and especially to the people of Emuru Dikir constituency and also the Kipsigis community, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I interacted closely with Mheshimiwa Ngeno because he was my counterpart at the National Assembly on the matters committees, because he was the chair housing, and at one time I was also a chair housing, Madam Speaker. And we could interact, and especially when the budget making process was being done, and I can tell he was a man who was supporting the ideas of the Senate when it comes to fighting for the counties. And anything that affected counties, we could agree in most cases, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is a sad moment for all of us. And this I can relate to one occasion where I went to a funeral in Western Kenya some years back, Madam Speaker. And I was seated to somebody who was mourning and crying. And he could cry and say, "Why did you take Wanyonyi? Why did you take Wanyonyi? Why did you take Wanyonyi? Why didn't you take this one?" And he pointed at my friend, Madam Speaker. I think at this particular time, I can actually say, why did you take Ngeno? Why did you take Ngeno? Why did you take Ngeno? Why didn't you take this one? I don't know which one, Madam Speaker, but why Ngeno? Because he is one of the people that we emulated when we were running for this public office, Madam Speaker. The way he was fighting for his people when land grabbers would come and try to take their land, he would stand by his people. And that's what we learned, and that's what we do even today in our counties. Whenever somebody tries to touch land that belongs to the community, we stand because we could see someone who was fighting for his people. Madam Speaker, he'll be remembered. And there was a clip of him saying that if he died, he would be remembered for the next 200 years. Madam Speaker, for an MP who was there for 3 consecutive terms, Madam Speaker, it tells you that his people loved him, his people loved his leadership, and they wanted him to be there because they knew they had a fighter who will never allow anybody to take a piece of their land, a piece of their community, or a piece of their share of whatever, Mr. Speaker, their people are fighting for or would.
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Johana Ngeno was a friend, and he, many times we would meet around this precincts of Parliament for different reasons. But maybe the most memorable occasion was when the late Ngeno came to Tana River County as the chair for housing and lands when we were doing the processes of public participation for the affordable housing laws that we were passing. And Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, when we finished the processes, he said he would never enter the river. We told him, no, it is safe, but he refused. He completely, and his visit was memorable to the people of Tana River. And we thank him because we were able to identify the sites for the construction of the affordable housing. He was able to take our views, and we supported the affordable housing processes until the laws became a reality. I want to say this, Madam Speaker, to the people of Emurua Dikir, may God give you the heart of comfort during this difficult time. To his family, Madam Speaker, I pray for the young children that he left behind, the wife who has really not stayed for him for long, because less than 10 years is not really an old marriage. We want to ask God to comfort them and the rest of Kenyans. May God rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Mofaya.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me join my colleagues in mourning our departed brother, my brother Ngong Ngeno. I have had some very minimal interactions with Ngeno, but I admire his spirit. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ngeno served with passion and dedication. He actually lived behind his constituency. He had a big, very good name for himself for the last 2-3 terms that he has been in Parliament. Was this gentleman who was known across Rift Valley, across Kenya. I picked his passion for representation, especially when he was trying to fight for the rights of his people in Narok. And I captioned some very positive attributes to his lifestyle. Madam Speaker, I think the spirit that we're in Ngeno can be easily be found in me. That is why he was a friend from diaspora through my own way of thinking. And it's a very sad, Madam Speaker, that we have lost such an industrious young person who had just put up his house in place. And as a country, I'm actually reflecting on his sentiments that once he dies, maybe Kenyans would remember him for 200 years. Actually, it's not even 200 years, it's more than 200 years, because what he has built for the last 15 years as he has been in Parliament is not something that one would just dismiss. So, Madam Speaker, as a member of Tharaka-Nithi County, I want to express my deep apologies to the family, to the young family, and the people of his constituency, and the entire nation as a whole. Let its soul rest in peace until we meet again, but not very soon.
Senator Tobiko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me also take this opportunity to register my very sincere condolences to the family of our fallen colleague, Honorable Ngeno. Madam Speaker, it's a very sad moment for the entire country. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ngeno, we joined Parliament together in 2013. We have been in this place for now the 3 terms together. Madam Speaker, he used to call me Paker. I don't know what that meant in the Kalenjin language. what I know, Madam Speaker, is that he was a very good man. A man who defended his people, he defended his position with passion, and he stood for what was right, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I really admired that about him. The fact that, Madam Speaker, it did not matter who was in the helm of the nation. Honorable Ngeno will fight for what is just and what he believed was the rights of his people. Madam Speaker, I also sincerely register my condolences for the other families of the young people who are with the Honorable Ngeno, Madam Speaker. It is the ultimate sacrifice that of friendship and of companionship that people do give to leaders. Madam Speaker, this makes me to appreciate those who work every day with me and with other leaders in our pursuit of serving the public, Madam Speaker. There are those who are always with us, our drivers, our bodyguards, our friends who are always there with us. And in such a tragedy, Madam Speaker, they pay the ultimate price. Madam Speaker, my very sincere condolences to the very young wife and their children. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Senator Mofire.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 51, 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of countrywide concern regarding the status of drought response and climate resilience in Kenya as of counties affected by drought. In the statement, Madam Speaker, the committee should look at the budgetary allocation for the 2025-2026 financial year to support drought response and recovery in ASO counties, including a breakdown of expenditure by program, activity, and implementation timeline. Number 2, Madam Speaker, the committee should also look at the current population facing acute food insecurity in affected ASO counties and the measures being implemented: food assistance, nutritional support, water provision, and livelihood interventions to address the crisis. Number 3, Madam Speaker, the committee should also look at the long-term drought resilience and crisis preparedness strategies, including scaling drought-tolerant crops, climatic smart agriculture, improved water resource management, and ecosystem restoration to reduce vulnerability, protect food security and livelihoods, and strengthen community adaptation to climate-related shocks. Number 4, Madam Speaker, the committee should look at the collaborations with development partners, NGOs, CBOs, and other stakeholders supporting drought response, recovery, and livelihood restoration with details on the nature and the scope of this partnership. And the last one, Madam Speaker, the committee should also look at the early warning systems for drought and climatic-related shocks and measures to strengthen them for timely information, dissemination, preparedness, and effective intervention. Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is Senator Mwenda Gataya Mofire, Member of Parliament, Senator for Tharaka Nithi. Thank you.
Senator for Bungoma County, Senator David Wakoli.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Request for statement on the status of public vocational training centers in Bungoma County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the status of public vocational training centers in Bungoma County. Number one, the number of public vocational training centers in Bungoma County, indicating their location by sub-county, ward, and their operational status, together with the approved capacity and actual enrollment in each center. Two, the trend in budget allocations to vocational training centers in Bungoma County over the last 4 financial years, 2022-2023 to date, including allocations to each center, actual disbursements and absorption rates, annual capitation per student, and whether it has been disbursed fully and on time, and any pending bills. 3, the number of institutions in each center, the number of instructors in each center, their areas of specialization, the student-to-tutor ratio, the breakdown between permanent and pensionable versus contract staff, the status and timelines of contract engagements, and the measures being taken by the county government to address staffing shortages. 4, the current condition of infrastructure in each center, including classrooms, workshops, laboratories, sanitation facilities, and hostels, and whether the centers comply with safety and accessibility standards. 5, the plans for rehabilitation or upgrading of dilapidated facilities, the tools, equipment procured for each center in the last 3 financial years, including procurement processes followed, instructor involvement in specification, quality assurance measures, and any complaints regarding standard and or incomplete supplies. 6, the mechanisms in place to monitor training quality, performance, and certification outcomes, the number of graduates in the last 3 years, and how many transitioned to employment or self-employment. 7, the county government's long-term strategy to improve the quality and competitiveness of vocational training centers, including collaboration with the national government agencies, industry, and development partners. Senator Wafula Wakoli, MP, Senator Bungoma County. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator for Kisumu, Senator Professor Tom Ojende.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to seek a statement pursuant to Standing Order 53 from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare on a matter of national importance regarding the mass layoff of employees at Muhoroni Sugar Company. Madam Speaker, these layoffs have adversely affected hundreds of employees and their dependents and have had a significant impact on the economy of Kisumu County and the wider Sugar Belt region. In light of the company's previous state ownership and its strategic role in the local economy, Madam Speaker, concerns have arisen regarding compliance with labor laws, protection of workers' rights, and mitigation of socio-economic consequences. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the number of employees affected, disaggregated by employment status and cadre, and the criteria applied in identifying those declared redundant, including the legal and administrative basis for the decision. 2, the state's obligations in respect of outstanding salary arrears, pension contributions, gratuities, statutory remittances, and all other accrued employee benefits arising from the layoffs at Muhoroni Sugar Company. 3, the fiscal implications of the layoffs, including any direct or contingent liabilities of the National Treasury and any obligations that remain unfunded or pending settlement. 4, the socio-economic interventions put in place by the ministry to cushion affected employees, their dependents, and wide cane growing community in Muhoroni and Kisumu County. 5, the oversight and accountability measures undertaken to ensure transparency, adherence to law and compliance with constitutional and labor standards throughout the layoff process at Muhoroni Sugar Company. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I'll allow some comments, a few comments on the statements that have been made. I can see Senator Mungatana.
I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the chance to comment on the statement on the drought situation in the country. Madam Speaker, Tana River County is one of the most affected counties this year because we have gotten very little rain in the course of this year. Madam Speaker, I want to first of all say that the government has done a bit of good work. I particularly want to commend the national government through the Minister in charge of public service, the Honorable Ruto, who has come to Tana River 3 times to make donations and supervise food distribution to vulnerable members of the community in Tana River County. Madam Speaker, the question I have is how does the national government, which is headquartered in Nairobi, do much more than the local government, which is headquartered in Hola, that has not done anything in terms of food relief, in terms of any effort, Madam Speaker, to mitigate the hunger issues. Madam Speaker, when the rains fail, the people of Tana River expect that the county government, led by the governor, would do something as an immediate measure, even before the national government does anything. But Madam Speaker, the kind of governor and the leadership that is there currently, you would find people of Nairobi are the ones of responding while our people are suffering. Madam Speaker, animals are dying, but there is no arrangement from the county government in terms of response to give them food or arrange for something. Water is scarce, but nothing is being arranged by the county government in terms of quick response. So, Madam Speaker, I want to take this floor to ask the county government of Tana River to wake up to its responsibility, Madam Speaker. What happens in that county, Madam Speaker, every time they hear of hunger or this kind of crisis, they just wait for the declaration that this is a national disaster so that procurement procedures are short-circuited. And then they look at it as an opportunity to make profit. And Madam Speaker, that's the only time that they stand up to do something, because they will be able to short-circuit the processes and give opportunities of money to people who are their cronies. Madam Speaker, up to today, they have not properly accounted for funds that were supposed to be used for emergency response to the people in past situations such as like this. So, Madam Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to urge that more caution be put this year. We want the governor, the CEC in charge of finance to know that we are looking at them. Madam Speaker, can you believe in that county, some time ago, the county government decides to make a response by ordering some relief truck, carrying relief supplies. And when those relief supplies were en route, that truck broke down, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, that was the end of the safari of that truck and the contingent of the food that was supposed to be brought to Tana River. Madam Speaker, that case went to the EACC. And the EACC took statements. Arrests have not been done to date. Madam Speaker, we want drought situations not to be used as opportunity to exploit poor people, vulnerable groups, Madam Speaker, because that is what they do in that county government. Madam Speaker, I want to take the opportunity to tell EACC also to hurry up the files that are pending from Tana River County, especially the file on relief food. It is not one. Those files, Madam Speaker, they must take action because they wait for times like this, emergencies. This is what they want. And then they start doing funny things. So, Madam Speaker, I pray for action in that area. I thank you.
Senator Cherarke and Senator Wakoli, you have 3 minutes each, and then we finish. So mind each other. Senator Cherarke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. One, I want to commend Senator by statement by my law professor, my neighbor, Senator Professor Tomo Jenda, on Moroni Sugar Company layoff. Madam Speaker, we must be told what happened. The only problem I have with this statement, he has localized to Kisumu County. But I want to confirm that Nandi is part of Moroni, and I hope as this statement comes out, Madam Speaker, you know, you and me come from the sugar belt. We have suffered too much. If it is not the factory going under, it is workers being frustrated, Madam Speaker. So I want to believe that when this matter comes, I want to call upon the Agriculture Committee, where the chief whip still chairs, to come up with pragmatic. Madam Speaker, finally, is to appeal that most of these individuals that have been fired, they must be treated. Under Article 41, there is what we call labor rights. Let the labor rights be paid. If there is sufferance pay, be paid. The statutory deduction be remitted, and pension, Madam Speaker. Finally, on the issue of drought situation in Kenya, Madam Speaker, we are a victim of non-recommendation of OAG report. The OAG did a report, and we ignored. They had proposed that for the address of the drought situation we have in the country at the moment, we needed around 50 billion Kenyan shillings to address the situation. And the role of National Drought and Management Authority, we must question. They must appear to tell us, because when you say 23 counties, more than 3.3 million Kenyans are in a danger of drought situation, Madam Speaker, it is very unfortunate. And therefore, finally, Madam Speaker, on this issue of national strategic grain reserve, we have, it is the paradox in these countries. In the North Rift, Madam Speaker, there is a lot of food in our National Cereals and Produce Board. But in Mandera, a few kilometers, less than 500 kilometers, Kenyans are dying out of hunger. There is no livestock insurance cover. There is no feeds for the animals. It's very unfortunate. Madam Speaker, in the interest of time, allow me to yield to my colleague. I thank you.
Senator Wakoli, and go quick because I can see Professor Ojenda wants to say something.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to weigh in on the matter of Ken farmers and factories in the Republic of Kenya. It is very unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that these people have been laid off, and many of them, they don't understand the criteria that was used for them to go home. In fact, Honorable Speaker, what is being done is that the recruitment agency is not the company management. So when they ask, they are told, go and check the company that is in charge of the process, and therefore they are avoiding responsibility. This is a matter that we cannot accept, and that we should be able to deal with it. We are also calling on the government to do its part of the bargain, pay the arrears of farmers, statutory deductions, and retirement benefits for those who are in the public sector. And therefore, as a committee, I also want to register my acknowledgement and that we shall push this matter to its conclusion. Finally, on the matter of drought, it is prudent that county governments are held responsible. They are giving out incentives today. But when you look at the agenda, is a political agenda, to look nice, to look benevolent, but not to address food shortage and insecurity in this country. So we need to rein into these governors. They have billions of money. They can mobilize communities to plant and have reservoirs for the future. But they don't look at that. They are looking at how much they can cash in when people are yawning and gashing their teeth. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to encourage the national government to do what it can, but as a Senate, we must remind governors they must be accountable, they must come to park, and they must also provide leadership for our people in the Republic. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Professor Ojenda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to comment on the establishment and the equipping of vocational training centers in the country. Madam Speaker, the issues raised by Senator Wakoli's statement on the vocational state training centers in Bungoma County is on point. It is on point, Madam Speaker, because the regulation, the structuring, and ensuring that these centers are available to learners that leave school at Form 4 level is important. It is out of these vocational centers, Madam Speaker, that we get artisans who undertake the work, the real work that Madam Speaker focuses on things that we are doing, Madam Speaker. For instance, the affordable housing project. They source their labor and skills from these centers. Madam Speaker, in Kisumu County, we have vocational centers in Kisumu East, in Akado, and in Yabondo, and the issues that the Senator for Bungoma has raised is relevant to Kisumu County because these vocational centers, Madam Speaker, must be resourced in terms of personnel, in terms of proper budgets, Madam Speaker, and in terms of running, so that the staff in these VCTs, vocational training centers, should demonstrate and must deal with issues that are current. Madam Speaker, the other issue on these vocational centers is on the training of instructors. It is important that those who teach in these centers be trained and be able to achieve continuous training so that they meet the needs of the learners.
Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th March 2026 at 9:30 a.m.